Hey, yo, yo.
Back, Hir-O.
Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters Hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Sentakyu. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash.
Boom, dog. The timing of that, oh yeah, and the explosion was like.
It's the podcast. We're back trying.
I think we might be back on schedule.
We'll see, man. We'll see if we're back on schedule.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but
yeah,
ice storms, man, blizzards,
ice storms, and then I had to go to Wisconsin. First time in Wisconsin. Any SwordCast listeners from Wisconsin? Drop us a line.
A lot of Packer fans out there. I feel like everybody in Wisconsin talks like Peter from Family Guy.
More like
Quahog.
In the town of Quahog. Yeah, I mean, I was in Madison, which is like it basically is like Ann Arbor, but whiter somehow. There is such a thing. And it was mostly people that sounded like regular Midwesterners. I think if you go to Milwaukee and like Green Bay is where you get like the thick Wisconsin. Oh, nope. Whoop.
Nope.
Yep. Nope. Oh, nope.
Nope. Sorry. Can't help you.
Right.
What's that face when people make before they call the cops? This one.
Yeah. Oh, nope. Gotta call the cops.
I hear you, but
just gonna have the boys come over.
Just gonna have to make a call and
call the cops here.
Wow. So yeah, man, we're back. I believe this is maybe possibly episode 148. Could be wrong.
Or yeah, no, I think you're right. I have confidence. I think it is 148.
Could be wrong, but I think we're
perhaps
148, something like that. But yeah, man, let's go. We're back.
Yes, sir.
We got we've missed some things, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about Mandalorian, man. Season 3 is upon us. We've had 2 episodes so far. We haven't got to talk about that yet.
Yep.
But real quick, man, before we get into any of that, what are you into currently?
All right,
my friend Hir-O.
Hey.
As we get back into the SwordCast here.
I got a super duper hard sci-fi nerd alert, dog.
Hey. Well, actually,
I have a. That reminds me, I actually have a Hir-O hot take.
Oh, okay. Word. I'm excited about that. All right, so I drove to Madison, Wisconsin, which is like a 6.5 hour drive. So I needed an audiobook to listen to. It's further than you think, right?
That's a little further than I thought.
It's like Chicago and then like 2 hours past Chicago, basically. So I needed an audiobook to listen to. I was going to either finish the last Game of Thrones book or I was going to start a new book, which I chose to start a new book.
I have a Game of Thrones question. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. I'm always down for that.
Is House of the Dragon also book, or is it okay? It's not like something that they just did as a spinoff because the original stuff. Okay.
The book is a spinoff though. The book, like, so once the Game of Thrones books, the main books aren't complete yet. But one of the reasons why they're not complete is because George R.R. Martin has been doing he's been doing spinoff shit like this. This is essentially a prequel, and it tells the story of the Targaryens before the events of the Game of Thrones books. And like their rise and fall and all that. It's dope. It's a really, really dope story. Like I said, it's basically Game of Thrones, all the violence and betrayal and gratuitous like nonsense is snorted into one cocaine line of a book, just straight through. But anyways, so I chose to do a new book. I chose to do a new audio book. This one has been on my list for a long time. It's called The Three Body Problem. And it's by a Chinese author whose name I can't remember. I mean, I know what the name is, but I'm not going to be able to pronounce it right.
The Three Body Problem.
Yes. And when I say hard sci-fi, like, you remember we talked about like the genres, the difference between like high fantasy and like, so this is hard sci-fi. This ain't no Star Wars, nigga. It ain't no goddamn Star Trek. Ain't no fantasy, nigga. This shit is math. This shit is math and science, but it's weird, kinda. But it's fire. So the reason why one of my homies recommended it to me a while ago, and it's also going to be a Netflix show as well. So it's got potential to be like a big tentpole franchise. I'm not going to spoil the plot. I'm sure there's people in the SwordCast who have read this book. It's sort of a popular book, but I'll just give you the premise, bro. The premise is, you are following the journey of this scientist who gets called in by the police because there's like a conspiracy going on in the science world where like there was some experiments done that were like trying to understand the basic laws of like material physics, and the results of that experiment were so crazy that the scientists killed themselves, all of them.
Because of the results of the experiment?
Because basically the results of the experiment proved that physics and science is just not real. Like, none of this shit matters.
And this is called the three body
problem. It would be akin to like if you were a pastor and you were dedicated your whole life to being a preacher, and then you see a vision from who you thought was God, but instead it was the devil, and that nigga was like, hey, bro, all this shit is bullshit, bro.
Yeah, that's wild.
And you can imagine like how that would, and so like you have to figure out the conspiracy around like what happened, what caused the results to be what they were, why was it so impactful, and it's just like a whole big ass conspiracy around it. And it's just, bro, the storytelling and the way that they like unfold the plot twists sounds crazy, bro.
Mad interesting.
I would recommend, the book is heavy. It's heavy, and it's like,
is it a movie or a show?
There's a Chinese version of the show that's already out that I'm watching right now, and then it's coming to Netflix this year or the beginning of next year.
Is the Chinese one, or the
Chinese one is already out?
Is that one that's coming to Netflix?
No. Oh. It's they're doing a Netflix version.
Is it an Asian story?
It is, and they are potentially going to whitewash it because they've introduced like 10 members of the cast, and only like 3 of them are Chinese.
Rogen,
starring Danny DeVito. Right. He's not actually in it.
Could not have There's so many other people.
I don't know. I was gonna say Danny Glover at first, then I realized he was black, and then I was like, DeVito. Okay.
This dude said Danny DeVito. Wow.
So, anyways, I would recommend. I wouldn't read the book because the book is like, and I'm not a physics person at all, but I like science, and even I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? What the bloody hell is going on here? I mean, it's like, this is the kind of story that like legitimate like professional physicists would be like, oh man, that's fucking cool, like that kind of shit. Like,
yeah.
But there's enough other fantastic kind of crazy shit that it makes for good TV. And so like one example of, and this I'll give it without context so there's no spoilers, but you kind of see what I'm talking about. The guy who is the scientist that they're bringing in to help figure out what happened to the other scientists has a moment where he thinks he's going crazy because he takes pictures. He's like a hobby photographer, right? So he takes pictures, and as he develops them, he sees that there's a counter, like a countdown on each of his photographs. And he's like, how the fuck did that get on there? Like, that doesn't happen on photos, right? Like, so he starts to like freak out because he doesn't understand how the photos got there. Then a bunch of other shit happens, and then he realizes, he wakes up one day, and then the countdown is in his own eyes. Like, it's just in his field of vision. And he's like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, I have no idea what's happening right now. That's
so weird.
It's fire. It's cold though, bro. I'm telling you,
this
show weird. When it comes out, it's gonna have
that's weird.
Can you imagine that? Like, imagine like your phone or like your TV,
and
like
it was just stuck in your
and
vision.
It was just like, so at first you thought it was just on your computer, and then you like close your eyes, and then it's like, that's like in your field of vision.
That's nuts,
bro.
That's insane.
When this show comes out, assuming that they do the Netflix treatment right and it's not completely whitewashed,
that's really creepy.
Actually. It'll be like Stranger Things big. It's like that kind of story. Is it gonna be better than Stranger Things? Who knows? But it's gonna be that big. It's like, what's the other one that everybody like, Squid Games?
I'm interested. Yeah, that sounds very interesting to me. So.
Just don't make everybody. It's like, it's a Chinese story, bro. Like, it's literally from the story was in Chinese. They had to translate it to English. So anyway, that's what I've been into. I've been in the super sweaty science fiction though.
Hey, well, actually,
hard sci-fi out here.
Sounds super interesting. I have been into Berserk, obviously. Berserk is so amazing. You guys already know. I'm almost completely caught up with Berserk. Just amazing, man. But I started getting back into Jujutsu Kaisen. So Jujutsu Kaisen is what I was reading before I hit like the manga void. Remember when I was just like, all right, man, I tried to get caught up on my Hir-O, wasn't really doing it for me. I finished Demon Slayer manga, and I was just like, you know what I mean? Demon Slayer's, I love Demon Slayer. It's got some incredible animation, but it's, the manga is kind of mid, and it was short. So then I was like, man, like, and then Vagabond is something, you guys already know how I feel about Vagabond's number one favorite, just thing ever, not even just manga. But I wanted to read Vagabond for like years, but I was just intimidated by how long it was, you know what I mean? Like, it was so long, and I just hadn't ever got into it. And then I read all of Vagabond, and then that really ruined, me and my taste, right? Because then I wanted to read, how I felt about Berserk. I didn't know how I felt about, getting into like, same thing I say about Vinland Saga, right? Like, here's this like, kind of European, like, type of story and characters, and it's like we have that in so many other facets of media. Like, why do we need it in anime, right? But I got into Berserk, life-changing, incredible, second favorite manga of all time. So I'm getting caught up with Berserk, but while I'm waiting, so I'm reading the big deluxe books, and I try not to read online. I just don't like to. Sometimes if I just can't wait, I read a few chapters online. But so I finished the 12th Berserk deluxe book. So 13 is not even out yet. It comes out like later this month. So once that gets in, I'm gonna finish that. But I went back and started getting back caught up with Jujutsu Kaisen. That's what I was reading before I started reading Vagabond and Berserk. And man, I love Jujutsu Kaisen so much. It's so good. I don't know if I've ever read a manga that's got more like detailed fights than Jujutsu Kaisen. The way, like, they pay really amazing attention to the actual martial arts and the things that they're doing. There's even like a tribute to the second Raid movie in Jujutsu Kaisen. One of the fight scenes, it's fire. But I was gonna say, I love Jujutsu Kaisen is amazing. But also, I think Jujutsu Kaisen might have the most complicated power system like ever. with the domain expansion and the curse energy stuff, like that stuff gets really it gets pretty.
How far is it on the scale of Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh,
because Yu-Gi-Oh, them niggas make up new cards for every certain thing.
That's well.
In the anime specifically, not the real card game.
Yeah, so in the anime, the card game itself is way more complicated than the anime. But this Jujutsu Kaisen stuff, man, like just the way, like the domain expansion in general, right? And then everyone's got their own different one, and then like there's some crazy things happening with these powers and these domain expansions. But it's fire, and Jujutsu Kaisen is like, I was saying, I think on the last episode, how My Hero is, it's a shonen, but I think the artwork in My Hero Academia manga is a cut above a lot of other shows. Because, sometimes, so, like, I love Yu Yu Hakusho, right? Mm-hmm. One of my favorite anime of all time. I'm not crazy about the manga. I tried to read the manga for it, and the art just it's like a little too cartoony for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't. You don't expect that when you watch the show. It's just different. It's a different look. And
Pokemon is a little bit like that too.
Yeah, and then I kind of had the same issue with the Demon Slayer manga. Like the art in the Demon Slayer manga, they just look kind of what is it, like the chibi?
Chibi, yeah.
They look kind of chibi-y. You know what I'm saying? In the manga, it's a little different in the anime, but that art style just kind of throws me off a little bit.
You know what, bro? I think that might have, because I read some of the Pokemon original manga, like way, and I tried to, matter of fact, that might have been the first manga that I ever read. Like, like I'm talking about like in 1998. And the thing that kept me from really getting into it was because that little
cartoony
it
look.
Looked like everything was a little bit too cute for me.
Yeah.
And I was at the age where I was like, no, everything got to be a fucking robot on fire and shit.
Pokemon Adventures, It's good. It's good. I've read a lot of them, but
it got better.
The art style got better
for
as
sure.
it went on.
But when it first started, because that was when like Fat Pikachu first came out, right? That nigga was chubby. You remember the Fat Pikachu Pokemon card?
Low key, all the starters were fat. Even Charizard.
They were all chunky as hell.
Bring back the fat starters,
dog. I have the chunky Pikachu Pokemon card upstairs in my room right this instant.
Probably worth like $4,000.
Thick Pikachu, dog.
Pikachu. But yeah, like I was saying, like that when it comes to art style, like because Hell's Paradise is another manga that I've been checking out. Hell's Paradise is like that too. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, just that art style is just a cut above the normal shonen look, and it's dark. It's not. It's. I think Jujutsu Kaisen teeters. It's shonen, but it teeters on that line though. You know what I'm saying? Like seinen or seinen, however they say it. And the same would be said for Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise even actually goes a little further.
I made my joke about how I predicted you would enjoy
Hell's Paradise.
But if you're telling me that the main character is not a teenager, I'm in. That's like the main thing that I have trouble with. These days.
So I think his name's Gabimaru. I don't think he's a teenager. I may have missed his age, but I do know that he's like on death row to start the story, and he's like, and he's married and he has like a wife. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he's
all right. Well, that's close enough. Bro.
Yeah, just more adult, grown up characters going through adventures. You know,
I mean, if you look at your two favorite mangas, like Berserk and Vagabond, those are
grown men, dog.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Those are men that are navigating the world and are having to deal with like grown up ass problems.
I'm just kind of a little tired of.
Hey, I'm a dog.
Watching kids.
You already know what I'm about to say, bro. I know Hunter. We all got a special praise for Hunter. But like I said before, famously on this podcast, there is not a 10-year-old on the face of this earth that can whoop my ass. Not a single one. Several 10-year-olds, perhaps, but 1-on-1 against any. Pick your strongest 10-year-old.
You're about to leave, and it's gonna be
right.
The army of 10-year-olds outside.
Bro, pick your strongest 10-year-old, and I will challenge him to a 1-on-1
What'd you say, mister?
And I promise you, I will drop that nigga on his head, dog. Like, And what do you mean? I'm grown, dog. Look at you ever seen a 10-year-old kid before? You remember when your son was 10? Was there any chance that your son could whoop your ass when he was 10 years old? I love Jay. That's my guy. Jay, I know you. I hope you're listening to this, bro.
Oh God.
You know you're my guy, bro. But at 10 years old,
What's your 10?
I would have beat you up. Your dad would have beat you up. Like, your mom would have beat you up. Like, so, anyways.
Oh goodness, this is hilarious. But yeah, like Jujutsu Kaisen, art style, and just the manga itself in general, a cut above your typical shonen stuff. You know what else I got into, man? Recently, I have been watching at my kind of thing that I've been cutting on. I do not sleep very well. I have like some sleep problems going on, but that's another thing. But when I'm up, I've been watching Dragon Ball.
Yes.
And man,
so good, dog.
like, even because I just finished the original Dragon Ball. Now I'm about to literally watch. I'm gonna watch all of Dragon Ball Z, and just Goku was a great character.
He was.
What happened?
Man, he was a good character up until like after he died. Like any version of Goku after he died the first time, it starts to get a little wonky.
Like,
but all through like the first Vegeta, the first Saiyan saga, the Piccolo saga, and Dragon Ball Z,
he's such a good character. And then it's like,
yeah, even you know what? I'll give him his benefit of the doubt. I'll extend Goku being a good character until after the Frieza saga. Anything after that though,
it's kind of crazy how this happened.
I have no explanation for it.
In Dragon Ball, the last fight against Junior Piccolo, at the Tenkaichi Budokai tournament, he's so
bro. He's like, this is 18-year-old Goku. This isn't
he's awesome.
So one of the things that folks in America might not have caught, because our first introduction to Dragon Ball skipped like 90% of the series, right? We went from the
little kid Goku to
that nigga was grown all
with
of a sudden.
kid,
right? With a child and a wife,
and his kid wasn't even a baby.
Yeah, his kid was like 5. So in Dragon Ball, at the end of Dragon Ball, Goku has grown up. He's like 17 or 18 when he fights. When he fights
at the end. Yeah. No, that fight is so good, bro. Yeah,
dog. I kind of forgot about that shit.
I think it's got the single best. There's some good ones in Z, but it's got one of the best just single hits ever. When he runs up on him and
he hit him with that uppercut
in the stomach.
That we know what that strike always reminds me of. Underrated character, bro, in fighting games. Akira from Virtual Fighter, bro.
Yeah, man, that game is
cold.
Fun,
it's cold, but Akira used to hit you with them stiff ass joints, dog. Nigga, elbow, dog, knee, bow,
Muay Thai,
shoulder. He would barely ever punch, nigga. Elbows, shoulder, knee,
shoulders and knees.
Crunch on your ass.
But yeah, man, it's just old school Dragon Ball, man. It's classic. It's good still, man. But yeah, man, quick wrestling recap. AEW Revolution.
Yes.
I thought the show was fire. I think I've seen a lot of fans saying that it was like one of the greatest wrestling pay-per-views of all time. I wouldn't go that far. No. I just think it was too many matches that I didn't care about.
Yeah. There was a couple that I skipped through.
The trios match, awesome.
Yep.
I'm so glad. You guys know Malachi Black is like one of my favorite wrestlers on the planet.
That was one of those matches where like any outcome would have been fine.
Yeah. And I'm glad he's finally got some AEW gold, man. That dude, that whole stable is so good with him. Buddy Matthews is incredible. Brody King is horrifying.
I'm not the hugest fan of Brody King, but I like him enough.
Scary to look at.
Right. But I love, and I like the fact, because you remember I said this, and I felt like they were reading my mind when Kenny Omega and Buddy Murphy were going at each other because I remember we talked about this. I was like, man, I kind of like Buddy Murphy. Kind of reminds me of like
Kenny
a poor
Omega.
man's Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
and they
a
like
lot of this like similar explosiveness and stuff.
Yeah.
I think those two could have a really good singles match too, especially him and Malachi Black.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's dope. I'm really excited for Kenny to start doing single stuff again. I really want to see him defend the IWGP United States title, so that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Then we had the Jungle Boy and Christian match, and I love Jungle Boy, but that was just a match I didn't care about, and it's not because of him. It's Christian, what I'm saying?
And I feel like they brought that feud back kind of for no. I thought we were already done with that feud.
Yeah, it was. So it is what it is, and then we had Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho, which again didn't care about. Love Ricky Starks, just didn't care about that match. Then we had the women's match. Jamie Hayter winning, obviously, though. Kind of a random heel turn with Ruby Soho.
Yeah, it was weird.
She's
a good heel.
She is, but it just felt like one of those things where, sometimes when somebody's just kind of not doing anything, they just say,
turn them heel.
Turn them heel. Be bad. You look at you. You look evil. You're gonna be bad now. Yeah. So and then look, dog. If AEW don't chill with the blood,
them niggas was bleeding
these
immediately.
Dudes be bleeding every night
as they walk down the runway.
It's
immediate blood.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, he's busted open.
Here we go. John Moxley, collar and elbow tap. Oh God, Moxley's. It's like, bro, I'm not a fan of Mortal Kombat fatality wrestling, okay? Yeah. Never have been. This is not my thing. Okay?
Yeah, it's not my thing either.
So I actually didn't watch John Moxley and Hangman Page because I know what type of match it was. I already knew it was up.
Everything you thought it was that.
Actually didn't watch that. So
it was a good match, but it was bloody.
So I'm just
Hangman got the win though. I wasn't expecting that.
I just wasn't in the mood, man, for the blood and guts. But yeah, I will say that Bryan Danielson and MJF was awesome. It was long, obviously it was a Iron Man match, but I thought the match was really good, man. I think it's one of the best AEW matches of all time. I think Bryan Danielson is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Mm-hmm. And I think MJF, showed that he can deliver not only on a big stage in a main event spot, but he can wrestle. Yeah. And he can tell a story while wrestling, and he can play his character. Yep. To the highest degree, and he can, he's solid, man. He's gonna be a good champ. I hate him, but that's because he does his job well.
Yeah, you're supposed to. That's the proper response. Fuck that guy.
And then we had Samoa Joe. And Wardlow was cool. Yeah. Wardlow got the win, but you already know Will Hobbs, man, finally got some gold. I love Powerhouse Will Hobbs, dog. He just reminds me of just like a 90s, just big, strong, just mean black guy. It's a mean black guy.
And, so I wanted to. So my journey with Will Hobbs was when he first was introduced. I was like, all right, cool, strong black wrestler.
Yeah. Oh, and then he did the big swole thing. Yeah. That I hate. I did not like that, man. I didn't like that either.
Yeah, he did that. That was not cool. He's done some other stuff. I've seen him talk about other stuff that's made me be like, all right, at least he knows better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then I didn't like what they were doing with his character and when he was in FTW or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, the Taz stable.
But now, the way they've been building him up recently, I'm totally on board.
Yeah, I'm on board. I would also be on board for them to rekindle the Ricky Starks. The Ricky Starks thing for this title. That would be dope. Yeah. But Hobbs don't need to lose anytime soon. Yeah, no.
Let that he had the funniest. I don't know if I said this on the pod or if it was just me and you talking. Where he had the funniest gimmick on BTE.
Where he just be taking people's phones. That nigga would
just the segment would just be him just running up on people stealing their phones and daring them to do something about it.
Gosh,
that shit is racist, but it was funny. I won't lie.
He's like, yeah, you ever seen Friday?
Right.
You're gonna be Debo. Yeah,
Shit.
big black Debo.
Right. Blacker Debo.
Blacker. But yeah, man. Will Hobbs. Shout out to Will Hobbs. Match of the week. Come on, obviously. I mean, you know what? I think MJF and Bryan Danielson is a more epic match, but if I were to tell you to watch one match just in one sitting, it would probably be the trios match, the House of Black versus Elite.
Yeah.
But boom. All right. Let's go, man. It's Mando time.
Yay.
We're back. Season 3.
Yes, sir.
I think from the start, right? Like since season 1, this show has been it's been so good.
Yeah, it hasn't missed
everything from the soundtrack, the characters, the planets that they travel to. The creatures are incredible. And the thing that initially like got us when it first came out was we were both like, dog. It looks like a movie. Like they spent they put some
doll hairs. Spent some money on
they put the money into it, right? But I mean, this show hasn't missed yet. No. I have one gripe before we get into this episode. I literally only have one problem with it. Just one.
What happened?
Can we stop the human baby noises with Grogu? That's the only thing that be getting on my nerves. Yeah. Just random human baby cries.
Just be babbling all the time. That's how they get the. That's how they get the casual fan.
That's what I be saying.
You're so cute.
Yeah, that's how they get the kids. Yo, for episode
kids and the parents.
Yep, and the moms. My child. The episode 1, fire. I'm totally 100% on board for the whole story of him trying to like gain his honor back. I love that so much.
Yep.
What'd you think of the first episode?
It was fire. They really started off strong. It was crazy to see like a beaten down Bo-Katan sort of being like, man, like, it ain't nothing for me to do now because that was seeing what's his name? What's Apollo Creed's character's name? Marva something
like that. Yeah.
He seeing him like kind of going straight, but also like
still being holding the block.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I got that thing on me in case you know what I'm saying, want to find out who block this is type shit. That was a great scene. And how Mando was just like, hey, shit. I'm about to see what happens. He hit that pose like, see what's going on. He gonna let him talk to you like that?
Oh man, yeah. The IG-11 scene was crazy.
Man, I hope they don't tease me with IG-11.
Yeah, I was kind of wanting to come
on
back
and
too.
For real, bring him back, please, because that's my guy.
That would have been dope.
Yo, so here's a question. I meant to look this up. It's probably easy to find out. But that R5 unit, was that the same R5 unit from the beginning of like episode 4?
So that's what I thought. I didn't look it up though. I never looked into it to see, but that's what I was thinking.
Let's see. R5D4 is yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's the same one.
Okay.
That's dope. That's a nice little Easter egg there.
Yeah, that was a really dope Easter egg. Also, man, in episode 1, we got some cuteness overload, man. We had Grogu, and then we had
and then the Babu Frick
race.
Yeah.
that was cool. I enjoyed that. But I mean, episode 1 was sweet. That big giant dragon. That wasn't a crate dragon, right? Because those are land.
Yeah.
So whatever that creature was, that was incredible.
Yep.
But I mean, come on, man. Episode 2. Yeah, I love me some Bo-Katan, man. Like ever since Clone Wars, I think she's been one of the best just woman Star Wars characters ever.
Agreed.
And seeing her kind of get some shine in these first 2 episodes and have her little story.
Yep.
She's obviously got some redemption coming.
And also seeing her with the
Darksaber, Mando, just give it to her, my guy.
Well, I mean, I don't think she wants it anymore because, like, I thought about that when that happened, and like she could have. Well, I guess she had to win it from him.
Yeah,
but she didn't even like express interest in the shit.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, Mando tried to give it to her last season,
and it's because she was viewing Mandalore as being inhabitable, right? And being. But now maybe they rebuild it and she takes it back. Man, episode 2 was one of the best episodes ever to me. I loved it. Bo-Katan with the Darksaber, incredible, bruh. That mech. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, when it came out of the ground and captured him, I rewound that part like 5 times. I was like, "What?"
It reminded me kind of the same tech as Grievous a little bit.
It did, yes. The creature, the robot,
because it was like some part
like
of it
mechanical
was
organism
organic,
thing. Yeah, that was really dope. That was very dope. The whole scene with them reaching the bottom of the mine and the beast, man, that was awesome too, man. Like just really
what's that thing called? The Mythosaur.
Yeah, the Mythosaur. It's the skull icon of Mandalore, right? And that was fire. I'm here for all the Mandalorian history. I hope they get into some Clan Vizsla stuff and some. I want them to really start peeling back some of the origins of the Darksaber and the relationship between the Mandalorian and the Jedi and the Mandalorian Jedi, right? Because there was one, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the person who created the Darksaber it was pre-Vizsla's ancestor,
Tar
right?
Vizsla,
yeah,
maybe
something like that.
So yeah, man, I'm here for it. I hope they just don't. Come on, man. Y'all can't waste no time. We got 4. What is it? How many episodes is it this season? 3 or something?
Well, that was it.
Season's over.
Done. Matter of fact, that last one was bonus. It was only 1 episode.
So don't do that, man. So, yes, loved it. This show never misses, so I'm excited for it, man. Yeah. Also, man, quick update. Do not go see the Demon Slayer movie, y'all. Please.
Robbing niggas, essentially.
So my basketball team, we had a tournament in Lansing last weekend. We took the kids to the movies to see the Demon Slayer movie.
Oh.
Bruh, don't go see it. Is it sweet? Yes, of course. You're in the movie theater watching anime. It's literally just the last 2 episodes of last season. So the amazingly animated fight with Tenjin Uzui and Tanjiro versus Gyutaro, that whole amazing thing. It's literally just those 2 episodes. That's it. And then after that, it's the first 2 episodes of the next season that's coming out.
Jeez.
And that's it. It's not a movie. It's literally just 4 episodes of the show.
So, in equally disappointing fashion, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, when they said that Attack on Titan Part 4 would be 3 parts, I didn't know. I'm very surprised to learn that it's not going to be like 3 small seasons. It's just like 3 hour-long movies. So I
didn't know that.
What just came out last week was part 1. That was part 1. I thought that was like episode 1.
Oh, you thought that was episode 1?
Yeah, of part 1 of part 4.
Ow.
Sorry, I thought that was episode 1 of part 1 of season 4, part 3.
That sounds ridiculous. That's got to be the name of this episode,
right? But instead, they're just doing like part 1, part 2, part 3, just 3 hour-long movies. Which is kind of whack because like who the fuck knows when the next one is gonna come out? It'll probably be like next year or something. It was fire though, but it wasn't fire enough. Like now that I'm thinking about it, it was fire for a first episode. Like it set up a bunch of cool shit, but now it's like, all right, well now we gotta wait for some other, indiscriminate amount of time before the rest of the shit come out. Whack.
Yeah, man, we getting pump faked out here by multiple. Is it the same studio?
Mappa,
isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know who is. I know Mappa is doing Attack on Titan.
Not sure.
You know what's interesting, and I kind of like.
I feel
this
like Mappa
about
does
anime.
Demon Slayer too.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. Like, depending on the season, they could do anything. Like they don't. They're like free agents. They like the writer or the Shonen Jump or whoever the publisher is will hire a animation studio per season. So it could be Mappa one season. It could be whatever. I don't know. Everybody only talks about Mappa. I'm sure there's more.
Right. Well, I see people that are like. I've seen people on the internet. First mistake. I've seen people on the internet that kind of complain that all of Mappa's work looks the same.
I mean, it's their style.
And yeah, that's what I said. I think it's just kind of their style. You know what I mean?
It looks good. I don't care if the shit look the same. It's anime. All anime kind of looks the same. It's the same style of art, right?
Yeah.
It's a similar style of art.
It's not real.
Does it? Right. All of this shit is make believe, bro.
You know
Everybody
what I mean?
relax.
So,
let's pick our complaints a little bit better.
A little better, dog.
Dog. Speaking of, here's something funny. Speaking of really, really weird things to be upset about. I had one of my most like picky, irritating moments ever yesterday. We went to the Pistons game yesterday, and I was waiting in line to get in through. You know, you got to go underneath the metal detector, and the person in front of me kept doing this weird thing where they like kept like a strangely large distance between them and the person in front of them. They like just kept having like a bunch of space between them, and it kept making me think like, all right, are you gonna step up? Like,
right.
And she just was like that for like the whole time she was in line. And that shit pissed me off for some reason, dog. I was so irritated. Like, hey, move, dog. What's the problem? Why are you being so self-conscious about your personal space?
1, 2, personal space.
Right, exactly.
Oh man.
Who's up in my personal space? Apparently, she wasn't letting nobody in her personal space, and that shit was pissing me off.
Like, hey, scoot up a little bit. Just trying to get in the game.
And it was such a random nitpick that I was mad at myself for being mad at it. Like, dog, what are you talking about?
Right, just relax.
Shut the fuck up and go sit down.
Oh man. But yeah, man, so there's a lot of anime coming up, man, a lot of new seasons and stuff. What are you most excited for out of all the new stuff that's on the horizon?
Well, it was Attack on Titan until I found out about that.
Until you found out about that, so you got pump fake time.
Got pump fake there. I would say the last part of Dr. Stone.
Season 3, Dr. Stone.
Yep, that's on the horizon. I just finished Blue Lock is still
so I've been hearing a lot about Blue Lock. What's can you enlighten me?
Yeah,
it's a soccer anime.
It's a soccer anime. The animation is fire. It's super dope.
Heard the manga was really good too.
Manga's good, but the interesting thing about it, I put this on Facebook, and this is a hot take that nobody asked for. It's just really interesting to see, because you know we struggle sometimes in the Black and brown communities with LGBTQ stuff, right?
Yeah,
and it's very interesting to see how many black men in particular love this anime without like taking inventory of the fact that this shit is super duper queer, dog. These niggas are, I mean, it's very obviously queer coded, like, and this is the most obvious example of that.
Sometimes I feel like that about JoJo though.
That's the same thing, right? And it's like, so one of two things needs to happen. One, we need to either like be okay with the fact that some of the shit that we like is super duper gay and like on purpose,
right.
And that's fine, like it's still good. Or like y'all niggas need to like have more like y'all niggas need to stop being in denial and like recognize that some of these stories are for
no snap.
Yeah, like no, bro. Like there's a scene in Blue Lock where like there's a teammate who is best friends with this other teammate, and there's like a weird. So the premise of Blue Lock is they're like in soccer like boot camp, and like they have to go through like almost like a Hunger Games style elimination. But they're not dying.
Oh, I was about to.
They're not dying, but like if you get eliminated from Blue Lock, you can't play soccer no more. Like you're done. Which is like that's like crazy high stakes, right? Like, imagine going to a basketball tournament
and you just can't hoop.
And like if you get cut, like your career's over. You can't play basketball ever again.
That's tough.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
And so like in one of the stages, the next challenge was for you to pick a person off the other team to team up with, and like the main character is chosen by this other guy to have him join the main character's team. He volunteers to join the team, and his best friend is like literally heartbroken. It's like it's very obviously a metaphor for them breaking up with each other, and he's like jealous. And it's like, and again, like the storytelling is dope, the animation is dope, the concept is dope, and even that part is dope, right? I mean, that's not my experience, but like somebody is going to feel seen by that representation. But like I don't see nobody talking about it, right? Like it's like we can only talk about the sweet part, but like you can't acknowledge that like, hey, some of this stuff is like sort of it's kind of queer coded, and that's all right. So yeah, it's dope though. The bottom line is the shit is fire, and I'm looking forward to finishing season 1. And then there was something else that I was really excited about as well, but I can't remember what it is now. So you say yours, and then it'll come to me.
So mine is definitely, undoubtedly, Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. There are, if they can get, I'm not sure. So I actually thought they would do a movie first, just because the things I'm hoping that they get to in this season. I just hope they can cover it all, because there's some huge events that happen since the last season left off in the manga. You got there's like some insane fights. There's so the big thing is the Shibuya incident. That's like the big probably the biggest story arc in all of Jujutsu Kaisen so far, and it happens right up, where season 2 should happen at. There's a Gojo flashback arc that's short, but has one of the best fights. You get to learn about Gojo when he was younger. You know what I'm saying? And you get to learn about why he is the way he is now, and just two really big things that happen. Then there's the whole thing with Maki and her clan. Like, I just hope they get to all this stuff. I don't know if they'll get to it all in season 2, but I really hope they do. And if they don't, man, I hope they give us a movie or something. And then, man, I'm really anticipating the Hell's Paradise anime. I really think that's gonna be. I'm
excited to get that one a shot.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good, man. I have watched one of the trailers. I didn't watch. There's a lot, I think there's like 3 now. I watched the very first one that came out. But I'm excited to see this show. I assume it's going to be animated very well. Like I said, the art style in the manga is really, really good. And there's some good characters. It's violent. It's a lot of fights. It's interesting. Yeah. Basically, it's like these. So there's these, I guess, prisoners, and instead of them dying, or they're all, and like Gabimaru, I think that's his name, like Gabimaru the Hollow or something like that. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I could be saying his name wrong, so actually, don't get mad at me.
Hey, well, actually,
but basically what happens is he's like on death row, and there's this girl who's like an executioner. She's been like, all these people, they're supposed to cut his head off, and then like can't cut his head off, and they're like, he wants to die. And they're like, well, if you want to die, why are you like defending yourself? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, I'm not, but he's like a elite, ninja. He's got all these special abilities and stuff. And then he basically realizes like, oh, you know what? Like, I do kind of want to live. Like, I want to live, for my wife, because he's married and he has a wife at home. So then basically they get this opportunity. They can like go to this island and find, I don't remember exactly what it is. They can go to this island and they can like find this, I don't remember if it's like a plant or something, but it's something that will grant this leader immortality. So like they go there to find it for this guy, but this island is like, it's crazy. Like there's like monsters and there's like all this other type of crazy stuff going on there. And so that's like the basic premise of the story, but there's a lot of dope characters, man. Like there's some really good characters in it. So I am excited for that show as well.
Word.
But There's a manga that I want to get into. Kaiju number 8, man. I heard that Kaiju number 8 is really dope. I have seen some of the artwork from it. Looks really dope. That might be after I finish Berserk. After I get all the way caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen. After I finish Hell's Paradise. That might be the next one that I read after all that. Boom.
Wait, there's one more that we both forgot. This is undoubtedly what I'm most excited about. The new Rurouni Kenshin anime.
Oh yeah, that's right. They are doing that. They are doing
airing this year.
It's coming out this year.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, that's fire. Okay, I'm excited for that. Yeah,
Yes,
that should be big. Also, man, I got a quick hot take. So I told y'all I've been kind of getting. Anytime I can big up Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I do that, right? Mm-hmm. So, me and Jay been kind of going back watching all these episodes. I don't remember what made him want to watch that show. I don't know. We were talking about something, and he wanted to get back into it and start watching it again. Bro, that show has some of the best on-screen versions of like some multiple characters. Mm-hmm. I think that show has the best Thor ever in terms of his voice, his look. I think it's the best Thor that we've ever seen on screen. Like,
let me challenge. That one is up there, but I got one that I think might be slightly better from a very obscure place. The Thor from Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 or 2, whichever one that he was on.
Oh, it's the first one. I think the first one. He was really good.
That nigga was mighty as fuck on there, dog.
He is.
Mighty Monga.
Also sneaky, the Thor from Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
Mighty Spark.
Yeah. You just gotta nail the like heroic, mightiness.
Like, he doesn't talk like this, you know.
Chris Hemsworth does it when he's not trying to be funny. But like, there's just a lot of comic Thor.
This Thor is so good. Then also, like, now Jonathan Majors is amazing, and obviously that's our new Kang. That's our new Kang, like, measuring stick now. But before we had finally got a live action Kang, like this show had Kang, right?
Yep. No doubt.
Even still right now, this show has the best Doctor Doom that we've ever seen on screen.
There's nothing that comes close.
You know what I mean? Like, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, man. I'm telling y'all gotta check it out.
I'm trying to remember. Do you remember the Doctor Doom at all from the Fantastic Four 90s?
Yes, it was good. The show.
Our show, yeah.
It was good, but it wasn't this.
So speaking of this, it's kind of similar, but not this character. There is a version, like, 90s X-Men, obviously my like measuring stick. There's a couple that's been surpassed. Wolverine, we've talked about. Like, I don't think that voice, Cal Dodd as the voice of Wolverine, I don't think anybody will ever surpass that. But you know who still low key I think might have the second hardest time being surpassed in terms of like best version of the character? Because I'll fight fair, bro. Like, I think Patrick Stewart as Professor X was better than the X-Men version. Like, in terms of like nailing the character. Like, I think that's my new measuring stick. You know what I'm saying? If you combine the two versions of Magneto into one character, that whatever that version was probably better than the version from X-Men. That's my new measuring stick. But the measuring stick that I don't think will ever be beaten is Gambit, bro.
From the 90s X-Men cartoon.
The New Orleans Cajun accent. Remy LeBeau, dog. That was perfect, dog.
He was so good on there. It's like hard to even channel that.
Yeah,
that sound.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you can't do that accent unless you from there, bro. Like, go get me somebody from the bayou,
from the swamp,
from the bayou. One of them, because they do those TikTok cooking videos where all them white dudes from the bayou. Go get me one of them niggas to play Gambit.
Crawfish boil.
Right. We're gonna hit it with that garlic now. Hit it with that garlic, baby. If Gambit don't talk like that, then I don't want it.
Oh man, we need
kinetic car, baby.
We need it. But yeah, man, let's go. Last week,
right,
we are off schedule. Last time we had an episode, we got into that. definitive top 10 anime fights. Y'all did a good job. Y'all had Luffy on there. But that's okay. But now we're gonna give you guys, as we always do in the following episode, we're gonna give you guys our personal top 10 favorites anime fights of all time. I'll say this. My list is what it is, and it's kind of been similar for a while. But with some of these things coming out soon, I think my list is gonna get destroyed. There are 2 fights that there's 3 1 2 bro, there's like 4 fights, literally. There's like 3 or 4 fights that should be in Jujutsu Kaisen season 2.
Wow.
We'll
see if they
do them justice from the manga, will easily be in my top 10 list of favorite anime fights. Okay, Gojo versus Toji. Yuji versus Choso.
Mm-hmm.
Maki versus the whole Zenin clan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yuji and Todo versus Mahito. Those 4 fights are like, they should be, if they do them justice from how they were in the manga, like those 4 fights will be in my top 10 favorite anime fights of all time. Which that's saying a lot, because that's 4 from the same show.
Yeah,
but
in the same
arc. If they in the same arc.
Yeah.
If they do them how they should, it's gonna be, my list is gonna be real Jujutsu Kaisen heavy.
Right.
They just pay so much attention to the hands, man, and the martial arts. I love it.
That matters.
That matters. So let's hear it, man.
All right.
Also, sidebar: Tyreek Hill, like, fastest dude ever.
Yeah, I seen that. The track meet.
I mean, I know he's fast, but like sometimes you see NFL players like want to test their speed and they go do track stuff and they don't win because this is what these people do.
Nah, he just dusted.
He just beat some professional,
at U.S. track like championships.
Yep,
could probably still win that shit.
Dog, ridiculous. Yeah. He's so fast.
All right, bro. So I am going to start my top 10. I actually have so there's 2 fights that I added without even finishing the anime. I just watched the fight and it was thoroughly impressed enough to add them.
Whoa, okay.
2 of them are my number 10 and number 9.
Got it.
So the first one is Rengoku versus Akaza.
Hey.
I know because I watched up into that part. Actually, no, I did watch that because that was right before Mugen Train, right? Infinity Train.
Yeah.
So I have the context, but I didn't really watch past that. But just in terms of the level of
incredible.
Yeah.
This music,
the soundtrack, bro.
Crazy. Okay, I'll say this. I think a lot of people, people hate on Demon Slayer. They do. They're like, oh man, the plot's all animation, the plot's weak, man.
Who cares? Who cares? It's fucking anime,
it's anime,
bro.
What you mean?
How many shonen animes have
we always
plots? Don't nobody care about that
about?
Shit.
It's shonen, man. You're not reading a Shakespearean.
It's rare.
Novel,
man. The moments that you get from Itachi and Sasuke or
it's rare.
Obito and what I'm saying, Kakashi,
stuff like that.
That's rare. That's super rare. That's not
deep built plot lore.
That they had Easter eggs from 2 years ago. That never happens.
That doesn't happen a lot, right? So, but what I was gonna say, I think Demon Slayer has some of the best sound effects ever. They do an amazing job with the sounds. There's
was that your shoes?
Yeah, it was.
Who just got crossed over?
Defense.
Right, chop him, get him chopping. Hate that drill.
Have you ever seen that? Somebody made a video on the internet a couple years ago, and every time their smoke alarm beeps, it's like.
I just saw that recently, as a matter of fact.
The video is so funny. But what I was gonna say is, there's a moment in the Demon Slayer movie. Sorry. There's a moment in the Demon Slayer episodes that are playing in the movie theater,
right?
And it's from the new, it's from the new season that's coming out. So, kind of a big thing here in the new season is this is the first time that we get to see Kokushibo, the Upper Moon #1. in the anime, right? Bruh, his like aura is like they feel it when he walks in, and it's just like it's so they do such a good job with like the sounds, man. And this fight, Rengoku and Nagaza has some of those like really sweet sound. Like there's the bro when he like air palm hits him, and the noise it makes is crazy. Yeah, they do a really dope job with the sounds.
Yep. So that fight actually has encouraged me to finish. There's 3 animes that I'm dragging my feet on to finish: Vinland Saga, My Hero, and Demon Slayer. Just because it's like, man, I don't know, dog. Like, there's something about like finishing an anime where it's like I almost don't want to start it unless I know I can finish the whole story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that is definitely becoming a thing for me too.
And like I'd be inclined to just wait until everything comes out
and then watch it. Yeah.
So anyways, that's my number 10. Number 9, similar, right? Because I have not been watching Boruto, but by your recommendation, I did watch the Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki fight.
Oh my gosh!
And they were handsing that nigga to death.
I'm gonna talk about that fight too, but that's
yeah.
He was getting so frustrated.
Right. Like,
he's strong.
Why do I keep getting hit in the face, bro?
There's that one, he like yells out in frustration, and then Sasuke kicks him in the face.
Right.
Like while he's in the middle of getting mad.
Right.
He's like, ah!
Right, bro. You gotta keep your guard up, nigga. Drop your hands and get sat down. Nobody care if you mad, nigga. Fight better. They go get mad at get his ass whooped.
So the really dope thing about that fight is, so the Boruto movie came out, right? The Boruto movie came out way before the show did, and the movie came out before we thought we even knew there was going to be a show.
Yeah.
And this fight is in the movie, and it was amazing, right? But then they did the fight in the anime, and it was
even better.
The movie fight was amazing.
Yeah.
They changed Momoshiki's design, and it was completely different. It was not the same fight, and it was like better. It was crazy because the one from the movie is still really good, but it's not close to what they ended up doing. Also, in the show,
doesn't it take place in a different time frame though? Like in because are you talking about the Naruto the last movie?
No, I'm talking about the Boruto movie.
The first Boruto movie.
Yeah, no, there's only one Boruto movie. They made a Boruto movie after the last movie.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, didn't he fight another fucking person from that clan in the last in the Naruto the last?
Yeah, he did. Toneri.
Yeah.
The dude that fought that dude on the moon.
Yeah.
Dog, Naruto's strong, bro. He was like breathing in outer space.
Yeah.
I just thought about that.
But just because you brought this up last time, all right? Like,
yeah, that was the guy that was trying to steal the Byakugan from
from
the last was a good movie too.
I liked it a lot, but I'm just saying, like, to your point about how they keep fighting the same people from the same clan.
It's so annoying.
It's like that was the beginning. That was like the middle of that arc. The beginning of the arc was Kaguya,
right?
And they're still fighting the same people.
Yep,
like
aliens,
right?
And there's always conveniently another one that,
right?
You know,
hell, I've been in hibernation for 5 years, and I'm somehow stronger than the last.
The strongest one, and I was sleeping this whole time.
Right. Anyways,
I can do everything the other ones can do,
and some more new shit that I just made up. Hey, fuck you.
Nuh-uh, doesn't work on me. It's so annoying how they just keep doing that, dog.
I lost my list here.
Stop it.
All right, here we go. All right, man. Another movie that I watched and I did see the whole movie here by your recommendation, Nanashi versus Lao Lang, Sword of the Stranger. Maybe one of the best, most intricately animated sword fights ever.
Incredible.
Super, super dope. So yeah, we've talked about that a lot on this pod, so I will move on to the next one. Hey man, speaking of Dragon Ball, Early Dragon Ball Z was close to the same level as Dragon Ball.
It sure was.
Because one of my favorite fights ever is the first Goku versus Vegeta fight, bro.
Yes.
Them niggas
Classic.
was scrapping, dog. Scrapping. And I mean, it was so many, and it was one of those fights that lasted for like a week, but like
it was long. But you know what though?
We needed it though.
So that's kind of what I've been. So I told you I've been going back watching Dragon Ball. These fights last for so long.
Oh my god, dog.
But it's weird. It is weird. They do like a good job of. They do such, and like I don't know if a show could do this now because the fights last forever, but they do such a good job of like containing the moment and of the fight, so it's never not exciting, even though it's lasting forever.
Sure.
I don't know how they do that. Because, you know, a lot of times you watch an anime and the fight's long, it's like cutting from the fight and then it's like going and focusing on some other characters over here for like 15 minutes in the episode and then coming back to the fight, then going and taking you to these characters and seeing what they're up to. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Dragon Ball the fights would last forever, but like you would be in the fight for all 20 episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
mostly
for sure. No, that's true. Yeah, they keep the tension high, but then there's a lot of just like a lot of charge, a lot of scenic shots of them just staring at each other from multiple
or people reacting.
Yeah. Usually Krillin reacting. But no, Goku. Krillin!
Oh man.
So I like this fight for a lot of different reasons. One, somebody else just got crossed over just now. One, because it is there's just so many different stages to it. You got you really got to see Vegeta like just kept hitting other levels.
Yes,
and then Goku just kept matching them, right? You got the Ozaru moment where he had to fight, and then he had Yajirobe. He took a cheap shot at Vegeta and hightailed it out of there immediately.
Bro, Yajirobe, dog. Him and Hercule, man, just like two guys that are just always around.
Yeah, just out of their depths,
just out of just completely.
Like, what the fuck? What is all of this stuff like? Yesterday I was the best martial artist on earth, and now like these niggas is just exploding planets. Like,
what am I doing here?
Like, Hercule would be like, bro, what the fuck?
Hercule is that dude is so funny, bro.
Yeah. So then you've got
don't nobody got imposter syndrome like Hercule.
The worst of all time.
He just be buying into his own lies too.
Right?
Yeah. It was me.
I did do that, didn't I? And why did he talk like Hulk Hogan? Do you remember that as the voice actor?
Oh, he was definitely supposed to be like a rip-off
90s wrestler.
Yeah.
Because he had the strap too. Didn't he have a belt?
Yeah. He had a belt too.
He actually low-key has some tech too. Like,
yeah,
but just
in terms of like
normal humans,
like planet smashing people.
Right. So, anyways, it was that, and it was also. Krillin got some shine in that because wasn't he responsible for Destructo disking the tail?
Yeah. Yep.
And then Goku just having some hilarious moments where he hit him. Oh my god, the garlic gun versus the Kamehameha.
Yeah, bro,
incredible.
Fire.
And then for some reason this shit made me laugh.
That fight is really good.
It's good, bro.
I have to go back and watch it.
It was this line that Goku said was just made me laugh. Where after the aftermath of that fight. Or that beam, somebody asked Goku, like, so what do you think's going to happen next? Like, are you out of danger yet? And Goku was like, I don't know. He might not be off my beam yet. That nigga sent that nigga to the fucking...
To the moon.
To the outer atmosphere. Like, I don't know, dog. That nigga, he literally like this. Like, I don't know if he come down anytime soon.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah, amazing fight scene. Vegeta took an L, had to go home.
Hey, man.
Took his ball and went home, dog.
That was like little Vegeta too, dog. With the shoulder pads.
Yes, dog. But Vegeta's come up from that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was Vegeta. Like gigantic Widow's Peak Vegeta, man.
Yeah.
His joy was slapping back then.
Yeah. All right, bro. And then, okay, so the next joint, I keep losing my list. Yeah. Okay, so this, I'm very surprised that this did not get more love. Number 6, bro. Edward Elric versus Father.
That fight's amazing.
It's, to me, the best fight in that whole series by far.
It is, man. That is an amazing fight.
Because you get to see, man, like, what a great job that anime did of building up the final boss and that nigga being like everything
that we thought he was going to be.
Yeah. And just the whole story. Now, that anime had a nice plot, too, in terms of, like, really piecing together what happened to, like, the previous civilization and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But just you got to see, like, Ed and Elric, like, being, what's his brother's name? Alphonse, like, it reminded me of a video game where, like, you got to use all of the powers that you manifested, that you worked on up to that point.
Yep.
They all came in handy. You needed to use all of them to win. Just a super good fight. One of my favorites. Number 5. Now this is where I will, in terms of the moment versus actual fight, I will admit that this is probably more of a moment than a fight. But the whole Gohan versus Cell experience was just fucking
fire.
Chef's kiss, dog. Like, because especially if you were a fan of Gohan, man, like he never gets a higher moment than that.
That's all we got.
Which sucks, right? Like, can you believe that? Like, that was his highest moment, and it was at that point that we thought that
he did have a good moment against, remember, Mr. Gohan against Boo.
Yeah, but then he also got stomped. He also
got slapped.
He got totally stomped by him as well. When he had his dad's gi on. But yeah, Mr. Gohan, he held his own for sure. But you could just tell at that point they were just kind of like throwing something at you just to, all right, fine, here's some Gohan stuff,
guys,
whatever. But yeah, I mean, famously knocking the fucking Android update out of Cell, absolutely brutalizing the middle beat, right, nigga. That's literally where this sound effect comes from, is that fucking punch, nigga. Why am I so damaged? Right.
Why am I so
damaged?
Staggered, that nigga.
So funny.
So good. Yeah, man, and also like the total brutalization of the Cell Juniors, like just popping them niggas
and
bro.
Like punching them in half.
Right, punching them into smithereens.
He's obliterating them little.
Yeah. So yeah, man, good fight. All right, I'm gonna make an addendum here, because I actually think I made a mistake, and you helped me to remember it in the last show. I made a typo. I said one thing and meant the other because I was confused about, like, wait, why are people thinking that this was a moment, right? They scrapped their fucking asses off. You probably know where I'm going with here. I mistakenly said Spike versus Vincent versus Vicious, but I meant Spike versus Vincent.
Yeah,
because that was a fight, bro.
That's like an action movie.
They fought through like 4 train cars, like awesome. On a bridge,
and then they fight it. They fight. There's that fight and the one at the end.
Yeah,
like 2 really
on top
good.
of the whatever that thing was,
the scaffold thing.
Yeah, man, like that was amazing. A scrap. So that's my mistake. That's the one. It doesn't really change the results at all, but yeah, because I don't think Spike versus Vincent got any votes either, did it?
It didn't, but I was wondering, and I'm curious, guys that are listening that are in the Discord, man. I want you guys to comment, because I kind of was wondering if they were confused with it.
If I made that mistake, anybody could have.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, because both their names start with a V. They literally sound the same.
They kind of the same character a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I totally would not be surprised if that was the case.
Yeah, so that is what I meant. That was a really, really impressive scrap. Number 3, we've talked about this a ton, so I'll move past it pretty quickly. Jin versus Karya.
Hey.
But you also, like, we made a good point the last time about talking about the entire scrap, right? Yeah. Jin versus, like, Mugen and Jin versus Karya. Yep. Jin versus Karya. Mugen versus the crazy wheelchair man.
Right.
Like the whole
entire, yeah, man. Like that. I think the last like three. What is that? Is it 3-part or 4?
It's it's at least 2-part.
Evanescent Encounter. I think it's.
Is it 3 parts?
It might be.
I don't know.
It is, bro, because the first one is when they get to where they're going, and then Fu gets on the boat, and then they fight him, and then he kind of. Remember he separates Mugen from Jin, and then he like it looks like he kills Jin. Mm-hmm. Jin falls in. Oh, it might be 2.
Well, but I think you're. So this is what I was gonna say. I think what happens is the episode before the first part.
Oh, does it end? It might end before they start fighting.
It leads into the next 2 episodes. Okay. So it's kind of like the 3-parter, like but they don't. But it's not the first one. It doesn't have the same title.
Yeah, the last like 3 episodes of Samurai Champloo are like.
Yeah. Talk about nailing an ending, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's hard. It's hard to find something that's on that same level.
Yeah. All right, man. So number 2, this is a shakeup at the top of my list because for the longest time, Midoriya versus Todoroki was my number 1.
Amazing.
You know, that was, you know, like you said, right? My Hero Academia has a lot of moments, a lot of like, Deku like talking to himself for 5 minutes, right. And then like doing one
like
big
punching
punch.
Punching the
fucking soul out of somebody, punching a nigga into space, sending somebody into orbit with one punch. Yeah. So this is one of the few fights that wasn't like that. Like they fought for like basically the whole episode, and you really got to see the true power scaling of both these characters who are sort of our trio. And I'm not caught up on My Hero yet, but I'm kind of irritated how like, are they gonna make the same mistake that Naruto did and like kind of take Todoroki out of the trio? Mm-hmm. I'm worried about that.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of just Bakugo and Deku right now, and I think Todoroki is a better character than Deku, or than kind of Deku too. But I meant Bakugo. But anyways. During that part, it was very clearly like a triumvirate. It was those 3. So yeah, and I finally got to the point right where the very obvious reveal that Todoroki's brother is what's his name?
Oh yeah, Dabi,
right? Mm-hmm. Like I mean, I think everybody knew that from immediately when they first saw it.
For a long time.
But it was a cool reveal. That was dope. That's kind of where I stopped. So we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, that's my number 2. My number 1, dog, the shakeup, because nigga, if you punch somebody into another dimension, like,
bruh,
I don't know how you can
punch
really
somebody into another dimension.
Yes, that happened. Like,
how could this fight only be number 10?
I don't know, bro. Like,
dog, this fight was an entire movie.
It was the whole movie was that scrap. It was like, like legitimately, like 60% of the movie was that fight, and the movie was like an hour and a half long.
And like Broly he got some tech. Like he wasn't just
just raging around like the first Broly was.
It was impressive. That was
super
very good,
impressive. Man. Just like the way it was animated was just absolutely flawless, incredible. That's an example of like kind of not sloppy, but kind of like loosely animated, but it still looked good.
Yeah.
And they brought the Jaunimba jelly bean back. Yep. That was dope. So yeah, obviously I'm talking about Gogeta versus Broly. I mean,
his dad was hilarious in that movie.
That nigga was scheming,
dog,
bro.
What a piece of crap, dog.
Garbage. What a piece of shit.
Broly! Sit down, Broly!
Dog. This is sort of
that dude was a
mean-spirited joke,
dog.
But like, as a basketball coach, can't you kind of see some AAU dads?
In Broly's dad?
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
Paragus.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
What a scumbag.
Yeah, it's a piece of shit.
That guy was a jerk.
Yeah, man, that's my number 1, bro. It was a fantastic movie. Fantastic. My favorite Dragon Ball movie. And there's some very good Dragon Ball movies, but I think that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, like when I first watched that movie, because there's a lot of Dragon Ball movies, and I've seen every single one. Like I love BoJack. I love BoJack Unbound. I love Super Android 13. I love
I like the first Broly movie too.
I like the first Broly movie. I like the first Cooler movie.
Oh man, yeah.
The original the original Gogeta movie with Janemba. What's that movie called?
I forgot.
Fusion Reborn.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
It's called something else in the original Japanese, but yeah.
Yeah, like there's some good, and I said the same thing. I was like, I think this is my favorite Dragon Ball movie. Like this movie was really, it was sweet. For what it was, like it did it extremely well.
It's only one or two bad Dragon Ball Z movies. Like I think the Bio
Broly movie is the worst.
Garbage.
Oh my gosh.
Super trash.
Bro,
and
I never forget getting that VHS as a kid, being so excited and just watching it and like trying to talk myself into it. No, it's different because
bro. They tried to give Trunks and Gotenks their moment, but even that character was fucking too weird, man. The only I know this might surprise some people, but I also I liked Tree of Might a lot more before I learned about what they originally planned on it being. They originally planned on it being like a Goku, either like a Goku brother or like a mirror version of Goku that like what Goku would have been if he didn't bump his head and lose his memory. It was supposed to be that, which would have been fucking sweet. But instead they just like, hey, I look like Goku for literally no reason. Like, bro, come on, dog. Like, you can't suspend my disbelief that much. So, anyways.
Oh, man.
Tarlis is, I think, that guy's name. Or something. I don't remember.
Boom. Turles, I think.
Yeah.
Turles.
Turles. Hey, it's Turles. What's going on? Just checking in on you, bud.
Turles, dude. I kind of look like Goku a little bit, but...
All right, dog. Let's go. I got some honorable mentions, man. My first honorable mention, I just talked about it. Goku versus Piccolo, man, from Dragon Ball. Fire, such a good fight. That's Goku, man, on top of his game. Being an awesome character. Piccolo being just an evil piece of crap early on in Dragon Ball. Another honorable mention, man. Ooh, I love this fight so much. Didn't quite make my list. Spike versus Vincent from Cowboy Bebop movie. That fight is amazing. Both of them, the end of the movie one and on the train, incredible. Another honorable mention, Kenshin versus Saito, man. I wanted to get this fight on there so bad, but it was like my top honorable mention, man. Doesn't quite make my list. Amazing fight. I love that fight so much. That's the fight that changed the whole entire mood of the Kenshin anime. All right, man, let's go. Let's get into it. Oh, and before I do this list, I just want to say this. Fog Hill 5 Elements. It's that 3-episode Chinese fight from the whole show. It's like it was like a teaser, so it's like I don't know what's happening in the fight. Like the fight is incredible, but I don't really know the character that he's fighting, and I don't know why they're fighting because they're both on the same side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I need more. But Fog Hill 5 Elements is absolutely incredible.
Yep.
Hopefully we get that second part of that that we were supposed to get like 2 years ago. But I heard it's only literally made by like 6 people or something like that.
What?
So we'll see.
They need to get a studio involved.
Yeah,
bro.
man, because it's amazing. All right, man, let's go. Coming in at number 10, you're gonna get Dragon Ball Z fight on here. Piccolo versus Android 17. That's my favorite Dragon Ball Z fight. Piccolo's my favorite Dragon Ball Z character. This fight was amazing. Piccolo, man, he was in this from like the Frieza saga to the end of the Android saga. Piccolo was my guy. He was so dope. He was just, he had the master plan. Like Cell was coming, Piccolo had went, and I don't know if you remember, he went and scrapped with Cell before he went to fight Android 17. He kind of beat him up, and Cell kind of ran away a little bit because he wasn't fully powered yet.
It was beta Cell.
Because Piccolo knew what Cell was trying to do, so he was like, okay.
And he was so mad at Vegeta, dog. You remember that shit?
Yeah, bro. Because he was like, all right, I'm gonna go kill Cell before he can keep absorbing, the androids. And then he was like, all right, he got away. So then he was like, okay, I'm gonna go kill the androids so he can't absorb them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So then he went to fight Android 17. Dog takes off the turban. That one crushes a rock.
Right, takes off the weighted do-rag.
Such a good fight. This fight was so good. It was animated so well that it was fluid. They were scrapping, man. This is my favorite Dragon Ball fight. Shout out to Piccolo. Man, Piccolo had some great moments. He before this, remember when he fuses with Nail and he fights Frieza? So good,
bro.
Man.
I can do this.
I feel
bro.
Great. Man, I love Piccolo. Love me some Piccolo. Coming in at number 9. Let's go, man. 9. Kakashi and Shikamaru versus Hidan and Kakuzu. Mm-hmm. This is one of my favorite fights from Naruto. This is like the best revenge arc ever.
Yep.
This is Kakashi literally going to Team 10 and being like, hey.
Right. It's finna go down. You know what I'm saying?
So
we about to ride on this nigga.
They killed your master. What y'all want to do about
that? Right,
bro. You know what I'm saying?
I got the strap on me right now, and I'm finna get into the car. Are you rolling or not, bro?
And then it's like when you get Kakashi and Shikamaru together, man, two just flat out geniuses. Mm-hmm. They come up with this ridiculous plan. And this, in my opinion, was Kakashi at his absolute best. Like, my man's is out here fighting these two immortal, strong Akatsuki members while protecting the babies, too. Mm-hmm. Like, he's out here. Because, let me tell you, Choji and Ino had no business being out there, boy.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They both almost died like 5 times.
Yeah, like, bro, get out the way, please.
They were both just in the way. Man, there's like some really dope fight choreography here. You get Shikamaru, man, with the crazy plan to lead Hidan. Then he ties him up with all the the paper bombs, mm-hmm. and then he lights it, blows him into pieces, and then it buries him in that dog. Amazing. That was one of my favorite parts of Naruto. That whole revenge arc is one of my favorite arcs too. Coming in at number 8. You just talked about it. We just talked about it. Come on, man. This fight lasted a whole movie.
Yep.
It's got to be on there. And it was amazing. Broly versus Goku and Vegeta. This was just, just done so well. I saw this in theaters and people were screaming.
Yes.
It was amazing.
I did too.
Yeah, this was one of the best experiences I've ever had watching an anime movie in the theater. Yeah. Probably this and when I saw Mugen Train, people were sobbing at the end.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. It was bad.
When name died.
Yeah, but I would say this and then probably Naruto versus Toneri. That's the guy he fights in the last. The crowd was going crazy for that fight too.
I didn't see that in theaters, but
I saw that in theaters too. So, but this was definitely the best time I've ever had watching anime in the movie theater, man. Just nothing. Won't need none of that extra stuff. Right. Just fight.
Broly, Vegeta, Goku, and Frieza to instigate.
Bro,
go.
Amazing.
Let's go.
Amazing. Loved it. Coming in at number 7. This is tugging on emotional heartstrings on a whole nother level. Rengoku versus Akaza. Amazing fight, amazing animation, soundtrack. Just when I saw the Mugen Train movie, so I didn't start reading the Demon Slayer manga until after this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I finished it, but I didn't start reading until after this movie. So this was my first time. I didn't know what was going to happen. So when they get done beating the demon on the train, we all thought that was an upper moon demon because of how strong he was. Yeah. So I was like, oh, man. Then at the end, I thought the movie was over. I'm like, oh, that's a good movie. Then Akaza shows up. Big Dog shows up. Mm-hmm. The music changes. And then you're like,
so that's the big dog.
And then Rengoku just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, okay, so this is the movie that we came to see right here, right? And then like this fight is so amazing, bro.
Fire.
Like it's incredible.
It's literally fire.
It's literally fire. Rengoku, just one of my favorite characters of all time. So good, man. This fight is what made me read the Demon Slayer manga. So love it. It's amazing. It will make you cry. Coming in at number 6, another fight that'll make you cry. Greatest animated sword fight of all time, easily. Nanashi versus Luo Lang from Sword of the Stranger. Two great characters. You got Japanese samurai versus European Chinese martial artist. This fight is amazing. The music is amazing. The moment, like I said, before, you got Nanashi, who has vowed never to use his sword again, and he's trying to save this kid. Unsheaths his sword for the first time. It's like emotional high. And the fight's amazing. It's literally the best animated sword fight ever, bro. The animation, the soundtrack, the snow, the wind blowing, the part where he breathes onto the blade, and it shows and then you can see his breath. Man, this is just amazing. Real good stuff there. Let's get into this top 5. All right, so my number 5, this is kind of my number 5 is kind of my moment one, right? Like this is kind of my Gohan Cell moment type of fight. And this is going to be Hiei versus Bui from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Which one is Bui?
Bui is the guy who looks like Shredder from Togoro's team.
Yeah.
So this fight is incredible. The animation is incredible. This is my moment though, right? This is because Hiei kind of just beats it, just kind of dogs him. But Hiei is my favorite character in the show. This is where we see the animation change up for the first time in Yu Yu Hakusho, and it's incredible. And Bui was just like this mysterious like villain that wasn't in the show long at all, but he just looked amazing. And then he comes out to fight Hiei, and Hiei had been working on the Dragon of the Darkness Flame thing, and dog, they fight and they start off, and Bui's he's just like knocking these blocks up, and he's just hitting them at him with this giant axe. Dog, then he goes to swing the giant axe, and Hiei just punches the axe, bro. Like he just punches the axe head on, destroys it. Bui just manifests another one out of nothing, then tries to hit him with it, and he just grabs it and he just destroys it. And then Bui, like, then you're like, oh, okay. Then he takes his armor off, which is dope. And then he looks sweet without the armor. Yeah, he's just a well-designed character, man. He looked real sweet. And then it just becomes the moment of, the Zhao and Tatsu Kokyuha, or however you say it, the Dragon of the Darkness Flame. He does it. It's crazy. And then this dude, Bui, catches it and throws it back at him. So the first time he did it in the tournament, it like completely obliterated this guy, and he just like completely disappeared. And then he does this time, this dude catches it, throws it back at him, and then he just absorbs it. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a really dope moment. Sweet fight. Just amazing animation too. So Hiei versus Bui, my number 5. Awesome. And then there's a moment where he goes to hit Hiei, and he sees the dragon coming out of him because he's absorbed it, and his face is just like then Hiei just punches him one time and like just KOs him. Amazing.
KO.
Coming in at number 4, we talked about this a ton. Jin versus Kadia, man. Samurai Champloo. The whole moment. The first fight, Jin coming up on the hill with his hair down. Dog. The speech that he gives, man. This might be my favorite moment ever. Yeah. Like the speech that he gives. That's right. My entire life. Dog, the speech he gives is incredible. And then the fight itself obviously lasting so quick, and the music, the soundtrack that was playing, oh my God, it's amazing. That's my number 4. Coming in at number 3. This, in my opinion, is like one of the best ending non-fumbled bags of all time. Naruto versus Sasuke, the final fight from Naruto Shippuden. it delivered, man. That's all I can say about it. And for me to have had these two characters in my life for so long and see the end of it, the confrontation between the two come to an end the way it did, like that's all I can say.
That's the first fight that I read the manga first before I saw the anime. And
so yeah, I was reading the Naruto manga in real time, and like this fight delivered in the manga was even better in the anime. It was incredible, man. And I mean, you know, a lot of people get mad, hate on Sasuke, but like this was, I love this fight because like Naruto obviously wanted to be Hokage and he deserved it, and he shouldn't have had to have any disputes because he done more for the village than anybody else, right?
Right. Since he was a boy.
Since he was little, right? But here's this guy, his best friend in his way, who has just a completely different view on everything, and like a well-deserved view, right? Like he was kind of right in the way that he felt about everything, and he felt like he should be the one to, you know what I'm saying? So Naruto passing that final test, blowing each other's arms off. It's just an amazing fight. My number 2, okay, sticking with these same two characters, Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki, man, from Boruto. I'm not crazy about Boruto the show, but this is the icing on the cake, man. This is what we have been waiting to see for so long. These two teaming up, doing all the stuff, being powerful, and just beating the brakes off of a really powerful character, working together, the teamwork, seeing them as adults. Like this fight, the animation is incredible. The hand-to-hand stuff is amazing.
Hand-to-hand, it's unparalleled.
Naruto was out there doing Wing Chun on this guy.
Yep.
Sasuke with one arm, using a sword like he's got 3 arms. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just amazing, bro. The animation in this fight's incredible. And the song, I love that song. This fight was awesome. But my number 1, you guys already know what it is. Kakashi versus Obito, man. Favorite anime fight of all time. You know, everything. This felt like a true conclusion to what was going on. And the anime made it 10 times better than it was in the manga. It was so fluid. I said before, this happened right at a time when there was a lot of explosions going on in Naruto, and this kind of got back to some taijutsu. The flashbacks between them being kids and during the fight, the soundtrack, amazing stuff, man. So that's my number 1. That is my top 10 favorite anime fights of all time. Number 10, Piccolo versus Android 17. Number 9, Kakashi and Shikamaru versus Hidan and Kaguzu. Number 8, Broly versus Gogeta. I think I'm going to watch that movie when I get home. Number 7, Rengoku versus Akaza. Number 6, Nanashi versus Luo Ling. Number 5, The Beatdown, Hiei versus Bui. Number 4, Jin versus Kaguya. And then a couple Naruto fights to end it out. Number 3, Naruto versus Sasuke, the final fight. Number 2, Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki. And number 1, Kakashi versus Obito. Boom. Let's get it. Hey man, this Dragon Ball Talks got me wanting to do a list of Dragon Ball fights, so maybe we'll do that because Dragon Ball deserves to get some credit here.
Yeah, I gotta finish Dragon Ball. Last time I left off, I was just after Teo Pai Pai.
Okay.
Right after Goku saved the indigenous boy whose name I can't remember.
Yeah.
What a racist depiction of
and ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's one thing Dragon Ball was not ahead of the curve on, is depicting black people
or indigenous folks. I mean that nigga was a straight up like 1995 fucking Thanksgiving caricature of a Native American. It was ridiculous.
Dog, ridiculous. Terrible.
Good anime though.
Terrible, Kenny.
Actually, no, I'm past that. I just got introduced to Tien for the first time, so that's a good ways after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this is before the second Budokai tournament. Or no, how many Budokai tournaments are in for the first show? I think there's only 2.
I think there's 2.
Okay, so no, I'm still, because the second Budokai tournament is the end of the series.
Yeah.
So no, I'm somewhere in between those. So we'll get there.
Boom shakalaka. All right, y'all. Boom. Thank y'all for listening. John Morant, what you doing? All right, y'all. Peace.